Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson. I'm an abstract artist. I thought I would just jump right into what I had on my art table today. I was given a challenge. It was more of a comment that turned into a challenge to make a couple pieces that were very simplistic, very minimalistic, simplistic. They watched my last video and they loved it all the way through until I did the red mark. And although the red mark is something I would personally add, they wondered what it would look like if I had stopped. And I know that every mark that we make as an abstract artist is a personal mark, and there are going to be sometimes we put marks down that another person may say, stop, that you went too far. Others would say, I like a more chaotic. I tend to like a more chaotic painting. I like to push my limits, but I understand, and so I thought I would do 4 small little canvases with some very simple, I think they're simple. I'm going to see if I can stop myself. But what I wanted to use and show you was some of the tools. Like there's a lot of different brushes you can use. Regular brushes. These are called dagger brushes. They have like a little, it's like slanted with a tip on the end. Some really thin brushes. There's even one that has a long, it's a liner, it's a long brush on the end, very thin. Here is a hack brush. The difference between these is these are kind of wet because I cleaned them off, but this is a very smooth nylon brush. This is more of a chip brush where it's very rough and the marks are not going to be, you're going to see the brush marks, whereas with this one, it may be smooth and you may not see the brush marks. Here's a palette knife, and of course these come in a lot of different sizes. Here's a shaper, and this comes, I pulled the small one because I'm working on small canvases, but these come in a lot of different sizes. Here's a foam brush that I have a hate-love relationship. I've been loving these lately. And then there are these other things. These are like from Princeton, and this one has some very unique marks. These are also like shapers. This one's pointed. This one's more like a flat here on the end. And then, of course, pencils, charcoal, markers, etc. You can also take like 2 paintbrushes, and I do this a lot, and dip the 2 ends and make marks, like have dual marks, as opposed to this. You can take 4 paintbrushes or a bunch of paintbrushes, dip that in and make marks. So this is a more precise marking that if you like that. Then I'm going to keep this neutrals, blacks, grays, Titan Buff. I have a big tub of gesso over there. I've got some high flows. And I've even done that medical paper, very thin. I've done some sheets of that, painted them up. It comes white, but this is an unusual type of paper that you can put in because it really blends down into your paintings, and sometimes they almost look transparent. So I'm going to move the paint over to the side. I'm going to move all my tools over. I'm going to save a spot there for the mixing of my paint. So I put a silicone mat down, and hopefully this will help keep the glare from showing on my nice glass tabletop. I love working on the glass tabletop because I just take a razor and clean it up, but that shows the glare for you. So this is a lot nicer. So these are, I think they're like 8 by 8 or 6 by, I think they're 8 by 8, maybe 6 by 6. Anyway, these are smaller. So I'm just going to start, I'm going to cover this entire thing with black, and I may mix back and forth. So while this dries, I may grab another one. I'm going to do the whole thing. This is a sponge brush, and this is covered in gesso, but as you can see, these are nice canvases. They're nice cotton. They're soaking down in the canvas because they cover them with a couple coats of gesso, so it's not like raw canvas. So I'm going to give this a nice coating of black, and I'm going to do down below, even though I'm going to cover the bottom part with some white. Makes this nice and smooth up here. Right, so what I thought I would do is use this tool. Like I said, I'm going to keep this very simple. And I'm going to grab another, I think I'll use the same foam brush on this one. I'm having to clean it out because it was with black paint. I think I better use another one. I'm going to grab another. This was well used. I'm going to dip it down in my gesso. And I'm just going to coat the bottom. What I think I may have to do is let this dry. In fact, I'm going to do that because I want the white to show up, and right now it's blended. So let's let this one dry. Let's put this one up to the side, and let's grab another one. On this one, I wanted to show you, let's use just a palette knife, and I'm just going to apply the paint. Now, one thing that's nice about the palette knife is it has a scraping quality. I can scrape hard and get down to the canvas, or I can keep it like a butter. But I'm using this because it's leaving a really nice uneven type of approach there. So on this one, get rid of some of the paint there. I could cover that all up, but I think I'm going to leave some of this bottom here looking jagged. I'm going to use this tool again that I'm going to use on that one, and I'm just going to make a mark. And by dragging it through the black paint while it's still wet down into the bottom part, which I didn't paint, I left it a white canvas, it went through the paint to the canvas, and down here it brought some of that black paint down here. Now I'm going to make these kind of uneven just because there, that's enough. I'm trying to keep it very simple. I'm going to let this one go, and I'm going to add one more thing to this one a little bit later. But let's put this to the side. I'm going to do another one here. Let's make this one a little bit more than the other two. Let's see, let me use a chip brush and add some white paint. Now, what you can't tell is the chip brush is adding the paint very, you can see the brush marks, although you can't see it because it's white on white. But let me dip in to the black paint. And this is a small canvas, so I have to be careful. Let me just kind of show you. The paint comes off very chippy looking, I guess is a good thing. Let's just, so I like that. There we go. Now this canvas is cut right in half, so I think I'll add a little bit more over there. So I'm going to let that dry, and we'll add some more on this one. Let's bring this one down. This one I will go in and let's do the soft brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'll put a little bit black paint. And get some gesso. And I'm making kind of like a gray. Let me get some more gesso here. And I'm just going to paint. You can already tell, this is a nylon brush, that it comes on the canvas a lot smoother than the more rough looking. So let's add some more gesso here. We'll have this come down a little bit more. Try to keep this minimal. There. Maybe a little darker down here. Let's change the shaper. Add a little bit thicker. And for this little corner down here, I mean, any brush will do, but I'm going to go in with some of the Titan Buff. Just no rhyme or reason. All right, let's let this first coat dry, and then we'll rotate back through the different canvases. All right, so this is pretty much dried. Let's add nice thick gesso here. This is with the shaper. I'm adding this thick. One for texture, and I'm letting it be very, I guess, textured through there. And I'm taking this tool and scraping through. So it's a very, again, very simple abstract. Not sure we're going to do much more with that one. Let's pull this one down. Okay, so this one, let's see what to do. Let's do some that's right there in the middle. But let's keep going here. We did the palette knife. We did the rough brush there. So let's add some thick paint here. This is the Titan Buff. Where it's hitting that charcoal, it's making some black marks. I'm dipping my brush in and adding some gesso. Now that's, my brush was still wet from the Titan Buff. All right. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this minimal. I think I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. I'm letting the colors blend with each other. This might be a good one to bring in some of my papers. I'm going to use one of these markers. This is the shaper with the pointer on the end. All right. Let's bring this one in. I may add some more color there. Just mix up some white gesso. White gesso is just like titanium white paint in a lot of ways. Let's mix in some black. Okay, let's bring this down. I think I'm going to make this darker down here. I'm keeping it very loose. Bring it over a little bit more. I like the texture. I think I want to add some texture with some I think I'm going to bring it down this way. There, I like that kind of a mistake there. Just add some splatter on there. I guess I'm splattering everything but where I wanted it to go, but I had some fun splatter. I'm going to go ahead and take this there. I like that. Okay, we're going to let that dry. And with this one, very simplistic. I think I wanted to, I like this up here. So I have some spray paint. I'm just going to add a spurt there. And maybe add some lines through it. Very simple. I'm keeping these simple. Okay, this one I said might be a good candidate for some papers. Let's see. I could bring in another color here because I'm keeping, let's see. This is that medical paper. I'm going to glue it on right now with water. and I'll put it on later with a medium. I'm letting some of this white, I think I'm gonna take that one mark away and just haphazardly mark down here. All right, let's see, what else do we want? Do we want to add any more? Add some more of this paper. I want to add some more to this one. That might be nice. So I'm just right now doing this with water, tearing this one off. I don't want to get this too much. I'm trying to keep it simple, like I promised. Let's I'm going to add some of this. There we go. And if I want to keep with the gold, I can add a gold dollop here. This kind of just keeps with the other painting. All right. I wanted to keep them, if I wanted to add the gold dollop, I could. I wanted to keep this very plain. Let's just add that gold dollop. Kind of just blends with the other. And then we have this one we could keep working on if we wanted to add some more of the medical grade paper. A piece right down here at the bottom might be kind of nice. I'm doing it with my fingers. Has some paint on it. Again, it's wet. I'll glue them down later. And I've actually added, okay, let's see, do you want to add another? Okay. Okay, like that. They all have a gold dollop on it. Do I change this a little? maybe on this one, let the gold drip. Okay. And it's where we are with these. All right, let's take a look at these now that they're almost dry. And would I continue to work on them? I personally might, but I wanted to keep these to a level of being less things that I might add, because they're, to me, just as beautiful. I think if I were to pick, I like this one the best. So let me go over them. These two are very similar. I used a tool to scrape through the paint on this one, and then I used like a spray paint up close to give it a blob. I put that on all of them to kind of give them a consistency. This one, I deliberately used a palette knife up here to keep some of the paint from covering the canvas, just to give it a very rough look. I used the same tool just to scrape through, and then I used the like a dollop of the gold spray. On this one, I used a piece of the medical grade tissue. I'll put that link below. We'll just call it tissue going forward. Actually, I used a piece up here and a piece down here. I painted them ahead of time. It comes in a roll. It's white. And then I just did the different colors. These are white, Titan buff, black, and then the spray paint. And then on this one, this piece down here with the unusual shape and this piece here with the unusual shape are both the same papers, just covers more of the canvas. I left some white area here open, and I did the same dollop, and then I did circles in these two. Like I just drug a sharp little palette knife through these. So these turned out cute. I can see these like on a larger canvas. I can see these with like maybe 3 of these together. I can see these even placed, these 4 together on a wall if you wanted to have them together, or just these 2 together would look nice. And of course you can have this going any direction you want if you wanted to have it a little bit opposite direction. And then these 2, of course, together would be nice. Very minimalistic. I don't know if you can see how thick that is, but the gesso on this was thick enough to allow the tool to go through. I wanted to also show you, I had played with ahead of time some pieces of white paper, white drawing paper, and yeah, they're all just the drawing paper. And then I embellished them a little bit more. So I wanted to show these to you and talk to you about these. Let's just do one at a time. Could I frame these? Yeah, I could map these and frame these. But the main purpose of this was just to show you, just to practice a little bit before I did the canvases. And I like them. And then I went ahead and added the gold dollop. But this one here is just very simple, light layer of the black paint. And it had a lot of water on my brush to give it a very muted look. some of the white paint below, scraped through it, and then added. So there's that one. Let me pick another one that's kind of close. This one, I'm going to have to, when they fully dry, flatten them out. But this one I like because I added some of the tissue in here. So the bottom, this is more flat. This is more watered down paint. I love the way it looks. And then, of course, there's the white, and then the medical grade paper I just added. And then when I added the gold dollop, I scraped through to get down to the brown, dark brown. So this is, I think this is very pretty too. I can see that on a canvas. These next two are somewhat the same. This is the medical grade paper that I added, and of course the gold dollop. I think adding that gold dollop was just an additional fun, and the reason why I think it was fun is because, like, when I added it, when I scraped through it, of course, when it scraped through where the white and the Titan buff was underneath, it came out white, and then when I scraped through it on the dark came through. So this turned out really unusual. Could I do more? Yes, but the simplicity is what I was looking for. And then I took the can and kind of just shook it and got some of the gold splatters. This one is not my favorite, but it's okay. I did not scrape through the gold on this, but I scraped through here and just made some marks, and then I just took a brush and just dotted it. But you know, it's got ideas, it's got a lot of texture, and it's just a fun piece. This one I really enjoyed. I painted the whole thing black. I thought it would look great this way. I'm going to flatten it out. Painted the whole thing black. Then I added a very dark piece of medical grade paper. In fact, there's two here so that the texture, you can see the texture. I added a piece of the rust paper. Then I did the gold spray and did the scraping through. I did a swatch of white down here and then took my finger and just wiped it down. And then I added some white marks here. So I think this would look real pretty framed. It almost looks like a fall piece. The gold almost looks like a leaf. So they turned out, these extra pieces, I think they turned out just as nice as the pieces that I did that were the canvases. And it shows that you don't have to be very, add a lot to your paintings. You can keep them extremely simple and easy to have a beautiful ensemble of paintings. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really would like to ask you to leave a comment. My channel's still growing. I love the comments I'm getting. It's so kind of you. I'm learning about so many of you, but leave a comment. Tell me what kind of paintings you like to do. I'm curious. I'm getting a lot of people who are beginners at abstracts, and the paintings I do are helping people get some ideas and inspiration, which just touches my heart. Give a thumbs up if you would, if there was something in here that you enjoyed. And then even share the video. The last couple I did are starting to grow my channel, and that's a lot of fun. It's encouraging to me. So if you would do that for me, and I want to thank you. I got a like a super thanks last week, and that was really kind of you. And there were a couple more that joined my membership group, and that is mainly right now just to support me. I don't put extra videos out right now due to my schedule with some things still going on, but those people are so dear to my heart because you do that out of your kindness to support me. So let me know what you think of these more simplistic, and I hope that the gentleman who asked me to make these more simplistic paintings, I hope you especially give me a thumbs up because I did this for you. So thank you, and until next week, thank you for being a part of this journey with me.